Imagine this. A sister ties a Rakhi to her brother, looks him in the eye and says, "Don't worry, bhai, I'll always protect you." Sounds unusual, doesn't it? But why? We've grown up believing that a brother protects his sister. But maybe it's time to ask a different question. Can we redefine Raksha Bandhan, please? Hi, I'm Sakshi, and this is O Womaniya, where we pause, question, and rethink the stories we've been told. I've been thinking about Raksha Bandhan a lot this year. Not because I don't love it, I love it. I simply love it. Some of my favorite childhood memories are around Raksha Bandhan. Picking the perfect Rakhi, arguing over the gifts, stealing sweets before the puja. Those little sibling moments that somehow stay with you forever. But this year, one thought just wouldn't leave me. Not, should brothers protect their sisters? But, shouldn't siblings simply protect each other? Growing up, many of us have heard the same thing. Your brother will protect you. And somewhere along the way, boys heard another message. It's your responsibility to protect your sister. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand where this came from. There was a time when this promise meant something very different. But the world has changed. Girls are dreaming bigger than ever. Boys are learning to express emotions more openly. Families are changing. And maybe our conversations should change too. What if, instead of saying, a brother protects his sister, we start saying, protect each other? Because life doesn't work according to gender, right? Some days your brother will be your strength, some days your sister will be yours. That's what family is. Standing beside each other, not in front of each other. Ever since I became a mother, I found myself looking at traditions a little differently. Not because I want to challenge them, but because every tradition teaches us something. And as a parent, I often wonder, what lessons do I want my daughter to learn from it? Do I want her to grow up believing that someone else will always protect her? Or do I want her to know that she can stand on her own feet, make her own decisions, find her own voice, and also be someone others can lean on? And honestly, I'd want the same thing if I was raising a boy. Not that his job is to protect women, but that his responsibility is to respect them, to stand beside them, to never think they are less capable because they are girls. Because respect is far more powerful than protection. And honestly, I think all of this begins much before Raksha Bandhan. It begins at home, in the little things we teach our children every single day. We still say, teach your daughter how to cook. But why? Cooking is a life skill. Teach your son how to drive. Driving is a life skill. Doing laundry, managing money, cleaning your room, changing a tire, taking care of your aging parents, looking after a sick child. None of these things are boy things or girl things. These are simply life skills. Skills every adult should know. Because when we divide responsibility by gender, we don't prepare our children for life. We prepare them for stereotypes. And maybe that's why years later we end up saying things like, he helps his wife at home. But it's your home too. You're not helping. You're simply taking responsibility. And that's exactly what we should be teaching our children from the very beginning. Imagine a generation where girls don't grow up waiting for someone to protect them, and boys don't grow up believing that carrying the weight of protection is what defines them. Instead, they grow up knowing that they always have each other's back. They celebrate each other's dream, share responsibilities, stand up with each other, for each other, respect each other, and remind each other, I am here for you. Isn't that much more beautiful a promise? So this Raksha Bandhan, when you tie that Rakhi, don't let it just be a promise of protection. Let it be a promise of respect, a promise of partnership, a promise that no matter where life takes you, you'll always stand beside each other. Because maybe Raksha Bandhan was never about deciding who is stronger. Maybe it was always about reminding each other, I'm here for you. And perhaps today, that's the definition of protection our children need to grow up with. I'd love to know what you think. If you were defining Raksha Bandhan for the next generation, what would your promise be? Tell me in the comments. I would read each one of them, and many of our conversation will begin there. If this conversation resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. O Womaniya. I'm Sakshi. Happy Raksha Bandhan, and I'll see you in the next one.